Good day, good people, and welcome to Contemplative Interbeing as we are encountering ourselves on the path of revolutionary belovedness. If you will, let me know in the chat section that you can hear me okay. That'd be great. Making sure all the technical things are in order before we move on. All right, thank you. It's good to see each of you here. Tonight's theme is wonder as the doorway into sacred belonging, opening perception through awe, curiosity, and reverence for life. As a reminder, the chat section remains open. You're encouraged at any time to share anything in the chat at all, from a reflection to a question, anything at all. Before we get into tonight's reflection, let's take a moment to ground ourselves in the present moment and center down. If you would like, take a moment and settle into a posture that feels steady and kind to your body. Let the weight of the body meet the chair or the ground. Allow the spine to lengthen in a natural way. Let the shoulders soften. Let the hands rest where they feel at home. Notice breath as it moves in and out. Inhale arrives as a gentle opening. Exhale arrives as a gentle closing. Let breath be ordinary. Let breath be trustworthy. Allow your awareness to rest on the simple fact of being alive. Now widen your attention slightly and let sound come to you. Let light come to you. Let temperature and texture come to you. Experience arrives through the senses. The senses offer a doorway into presence. Invite a subtle question to live in the body as a felt sense rather than a thought. What does wonder feel like here, right now? Notice any place where the chest brightens, where the belly softens, where the face relaxes, where the eyes behind closed lids feel more spacious. Stay close to sensation. Let this centering create room for all to be gentle and real. Let us carry that centering into silence for just a minute. Friends, this is a reflection on wonder as the doorway into sacred belonging. Wonder enters experience before it becomes an idea. Wonder often begins quietly. It does not arrive with answers or instructions. It comes as a pause in the usual rush of thought, a moment when intention loosens its grip. Something familiar suddenly feels alive again. The light looks different, a sound lingers, breath slows almost on its own, and in that moment, perception shifts. Life is no longer something to manage or explain. Life is something to meet. This is how wonder opens the door. Wonder functions as a threshold experience that reorients perception from control toward presence. Most people learn early to meet the world with guarded attention. Many people move through the world with attention already braced. This begins early because bodies learn how to stay safe. Minds learn how to anticipate outcomes. Hearts learn how to protect themselves from disappointment and harm. These habits carry real intelligence. They help people survive difficult conditions. They help families and communities endure. At the same time, they narrow perception. When attention is always scanning, the world flattens. People become roles. Encounters become transactions. Moments become items on a list. Even beauty can pass by unnoticed. Protective perception preserves survival while quietly constricting the capacity for awe. Wonder loosens what fear tightens. Wonder interrupts this narrowing. It doesn't demand that fear disappear. It simply loosens fear's dominance. Wonder invites attention to rest instead of brace. In wonder, the mind pauses its commentary. The heart becomes available to what is present. And this availability changes everything. Ordinary moments regain depth, and familiar people reveal layers. Life begins to feel textured again rather than compressed. Awe expands perception by easing the nervous system out of this constant vigilance. And as perception opens, belonging changes its meaning. In Valerie Kaur's wonderful book, See No Stranger, from page 10 and 11, she writes, "Wonder involves seeing the world and other people as part of me I do not yet know, vast, complex, and worthy of love. When we wonder about other people, we acknowledge that their lives are as vast and complex as our own. We can begin to expand our circles of care when we understand others as part of us." End quote. This shift in perception is not small. It reshapes how belonging is experienced. Sacred belonging does not arise from agreement or sameness. It does not depend on shared identity or shared certainty. Shared belonging grows from recognition. Recognition of shared dignity, recognition of shared vulnerability, recognition that every life participates in something larger than itself. Wonder opens the door to this recognition because wonder softens the habits of separation. Where judgment once appeared automatically, curiosity now has room. Where dismissal once closed the heart, attentiveness now lingers. Where cynicism once offered protection, care becomes possible. Belonging deepens where perception moves from sorting toward recognizing. Awe and curiosity form a living partnership. In The Educator's Guide to See No Stranger, Valerie Kaur writes, "Wonder is the first practice of revolutionary love for others. Wonder is the practice of cultivating a sense of awe-filled openness and reflection about others' thoughts and experiences, their pain and joy, their wants and needs." Awe and curiosity work together in this opening. Awe widens the inner landscape. It brings a sense of scale, depth, and beauty that exceeds explanation. Awe reminds the heart that life is more than what can be controlled or understood. Curiosity keeps that widening alive. Curiosity leans toward rather than away. Curiosity asks simple questions and stays with them. What is here? Who is this person? What is being revealed in this moment? Curiosity does not rush toward conclusions. Curiosity values relationships over certainty. Together, awe and curiosity sustain openness rather than momentary inspiration. When wonder becomes practiced, belonging becomes embodied. Might want to write that in the chat. When wonder becomes practiced, belonging becomes embodied. On page 26 and 27 of See No Stranger, Valerie Kaur writes, "Seeing no stranger is an act of will." In brain imaging studies, when people are shown a picture of a person of a different race long enough for comprehension, it is possible for them to dampen their unconscious fear response. We can change how we see. Friends, when wonder becomes a practice rather than a rare event, belonging becomes embodied. The body begins to associate openness with safety. Shoulders relax more easily. Breath deepens. The nervous system learns that presence can be trusted. This matters deeply for community. Words about love carry weight when bodies can remain present with one another. Listening becomes possible. Difference feels less threatening. Relationship has room to breathe. Embodied safety allows communal life to move beyond tolerance into genuine connection, interbeing. The same gaze that meets others reshapes the inner world. This embodied belonging changes how people relate to themselves. Many carry an internal gaze shaped by comparison and performance. Worth becomes measured by productivity, achievement, or usefulness. That inner gaze can be harsh and unrelenting. Wonder interrupts this pattern. Wonder reveals life as gift rather than test. A person becomes more than a record of success and failures. A person becomes a living mystery still unfolding. Tender and unfinished places can be met with reverence rather than judgment. And in that reverence, shame softens. Compassion becomes practical. Belonging begins to take root from the inside. Yeah. Reverent self-seeing forms the ground for sustainable compassion. Reverent self-seeing forms the ground for sustainable compassion. And wonder remains present even in the face of pain. On page 139 of See No Stranger, Valerie Kaur writes, "Love is labor that returns us to wonder. It is seeing another person's humanity even if they deny our own. We just have to choose to wonder about them." End quote. Yes, wonder does not float above suffering. It meets suffering with steadiness. In grief, wonder can appear as the recognition that love runs deep, deeper than loss. In anger, wonder can appear as the recognition that dignity matters and deserves protection. In fear, wonder can appear as the recognition that breath continues, that support exists, that life has not abandoned the moment. This form of wonder carries courage. It refuses to shrink life down to what hurts. And it also refuses to bypass pain. It holds pain inside a larger horizon. Yeah, wonder enlarges the field of meaning so suffering does not define the whole. And from wonder, reverence naturally arises. In The Educator's Guide to See No Stranger, Valerie Kaur writes, "Listening is an act of wonder. It is a refusal to demonize our opponents and a labor of love. From this horizon, reverence grows. Reverence emerges when attention becomes intimate. To revere something is to approach it with care and to allow it to be itself. Reverence changes how people speak and how they listen. Reverence slows the pace of interaction. Reverence shapes how decisions are made. And communities grounded in reverence treat another as precious. They address harm through accountability shaped by care rather than domination. And reverence resists dehumanization, including the subtle forms that arise through impatience, dismissal, and indifference. Reverence translates inner openness into ethical relationship. And moral imagination expands what perception softens. Wonder is what expands moral imagination. Awe loosens the impulse to control. Curiosity strengthens the capacity to listen across difference. Reverence heightens awareness of impact. Ethics become relational rather than abstract. Choices begin to reflect care for neighbors, care for the vulnerable, care for the earth, care for future generations. And love moves from sentiment into practice. Action begins to arise from belonging rather than obligation. Ethical action matures when rooted in attentiveness rather than fear. And friends, belonging widens as separateness dissolves. This year is our year of revolutionary belovedness, deepening our sense of belonging. Sacred belonging widens through wonder because wonder dissolves the illusion of separateness. The illusion of separateness. In moments of awe, boundaries feel more permeable. Breath connects the body to the atmosphere. Food connects the body to soil, water, and labor unseen. Language connects the mind to community and history. And each life is revealed as interwoven, interbeing. When these connections are felt rather than merely understood, solidarity arises naturally. Compassion becomes a response rather than a demand. Interdependence becomes lived reality rather than abstract principle. Wonder restores relationship with the living world. And this sense of belonging includes, how might we say it, the more than human world. You see, wonder arises easily in nature because nature offers beauty without performance. A tree stands, a river moves, a bird sings, and these realities ask nothing in return. They invite gratitude. Gratitude then shapes action. Care for land and water becomes an extension of belonging rather than a moral burden. Simplicity becomes an expression of reverence. And attention grows more intentionally. Attention grows more intentionally. And these shifts support justice, since justice flows from reverence for dignity and reverence for life. And friends, communities can practice wonder together. Even our digital community, we can do that. People can learn to greet one another as mysteries rather than summaries. It's another note for the chat section. Can you learn to greet one another as mysteries rather than summaries? Listening can become an act of reverence. Beauty can be noticed in courage, in resilience, in tenderness. Because when a group practices wonder, the atmosphere changes, the pace slows, trust grows, creativity becomes available, conflict becomes workable because curiosity remains alive and relationship remains central. Shared wonder creates cultures capable of repair and renewal. On page 278 of See No Stranger, Valerie Kaur writes, "Joy is the gift of love. Grief is the price of love. Anger protects that which is loved. And when we think we have reached our limit, wonder is the act that returns us to love." Friends, wonder and truth belong together. Wonder values reality as it is. Does that remind you of contemplation, contemplative practice? Valuing reality as it is. A long, loving look at the real, as we say. It does not require denial or avoidance. It allows the heart to face complexity while staying open. And this openness supports honest conversation, repair, and shared actions shaped by love. Wonder keeps the door open when fear would prefer to close it. Truth becomes bearable when held within reverent attention. Wonder as the doorway into sacred belonging, and the door of wonder never closes. The doorway of wonder remains available. It appears through the senses, it appears through the breath, it appears in moments of beauty, surprise, and tenderness. And each return to wonder strengthens the capacity for belonging. Each act of reverence reinforces dignity. And this is how revolutionary belovedness grows, through sacred belonging, one moment of attentive presence at a time. I want to pause here before we go into our guided meditation. Give some room for some breath and see if there's any comments, echoes, reflections, questions that you'd like to share in the chat. And in a minute or so, we're going to take some time to see if we can't dedicate ourselves to allowing belonging to become embodied by practicing wonder. When wonder becomes practiced, belonging becomes embodied. Friends, this guided inquiry offers time to linger with wonder as a lived experience. And the pacing is intentionally slow. We're going to have several minutes of shared contemplative attention, including silence. So settle into the body again. Notice the contact points where the body meets the chair or the floor. Sense weight, sense steadiness. Allow the spine to lengthen gently, not through effort, but through ease. Let the shoulders soften. Let the jaw release. Let the face become smooth. Bring attention to the breath. And notice the inhale arriving cool or warm. Notice the exhale leaving steady and reliable. And allow your breath to find its own rhythm. There's no need to guide it. Simply stay with the felt movement of breathing for several cycles. Let your awareness deepen. Now invite your senses to open more fully. Listen for the furthest sound you can notice. Then the nearest sound. Sense light even through closed eyelids. Feel the texture of clothing against your skin. Feel the air touching your face or hands. And let sensation arrive without labeling or evaluating. Sensation is a form of knowing. As your awareness settles, invite a felt sense of wonder to emerge. Wonder does not need to be dramatic. It may arrive quietly as a softening, a warmth, a gentle curiosity. Notice where wonder lives in your body right now. Perhaps in the chest, perhaps in the belly, perhaps behind the eyes. And stay with that place gently. If nothing obvious appears, remain patient. Wonder often arrives after stillness has had time to work. Stay with breath and sensation, trusting that openness itself is enough. Now bring to mind a moment when awe visited you naturally. It may be a moment in nature. It may be an encounter with another person. It may be a moment of beauty, courage, or unexpected kindness. And let that memory arise as an image, a sound, or a bodily feeling. Let it be simple. Notice how the body responds to this memory. Notice any shift in posture, breath, or emotional tone. Just let the body teach you how awe feels when it is alive. Allow curiosity to join this awareness. Curiosity asks gently, "What is here now?" Curiosity does not push, does not demand explanation. Curiosity stays close to experience. Sense curiosity as a quality in the body, perhaps as openness or warmth. Now imagine bringing this quality of wonder and curiosity into an ordinary moment of daily life. Just picture yourself walking, speaking, listening, or waiting. And notice how perception changes when wonder is present. Notice how the body feels when curiosity remains awake. Bring to mind a person you encounter regularly. Let their presence appear in awareness. Notice the familiar impressions that arise. Then invite wonder to soften those impressions. See that person as a mystery still unfolding. Sense the dignity of their life. And notice how reverence changes the way you imagine listening or speaking. Turn that same reverence toward yourself. Feel the body breathing. Feel the pulse of life moving through you. Recognize your life is precious. Allow any inner harshness to soften. Let curiosity replace judgment. Ask gently, what part of me longs to be met with gentleness right now? Now widen your awareness beyond individual identity and sense the larger web of life that holds you. Air, water, soil, countless lives supporting this moment. Let gratitude arise naturally. Let belonging be felt rather than thought. Now, if you like, focusing on your breath, you can repeat after me or just simply listen. Breathing in, wonder opens my eyes. Breathing out, I rest in awe. Breathing in, curiosity keeps my heart available. Breathing out, I remain open. Breathing in, reverence guides my words and actions. Breathing out, I move with care. Breathing in, belonging grows. Breathing out, I offer love. Let us share a few moments of silence, allowing wonder, curiosity, and reverence to settle deeply. Breathing in, wonder opens my eyes. Breathing out, I rest in awe. Breathing in, curiosity keeps my heart available. Breathing out, I remain open. Breathing in, reverence guides my words and actions. Breathing out, I move with care. Breathing in, belonging grows. Breathing out, I offer love. Gently begin to return your awareness to the space around you. Open your eyes when you're ready. Notice the room, the screen in front of you. Notice the sounds, the lights, the textures. And from this practice, see if you can carry one small thread of wonder with you into what comes next, trusting its quiet strength. And if you can, allow words to rise from what was felt rather than from what needs to be explained. I want to open up a time of dialogue now, and that can be done in any way. I have 4 prompts if you'd like to have a prompt, or if there's something in specific specifically that you would like to share, you can do so in the chat. Let me share the first 2 prompts, see how they show up. Okay, good. Where have you noticed wandering arise in your own body or life, and what helps you stay present to it rather than move past it? And when you sense awe, how does it shape the way you experience dignity, belonging, or kinship with others? Now you can carry these questions with you, or you can pick one. They will be in the comment section on the Mighty Network that will accompany the recording of this. So they'll be there for you can explore all 4 over the week, which would be a great thing to do. The third question is, in moments of tension or difference, what supports curiosity remaining open in you rather than closing down? And fourth, how might reverence as a way of seeing reshape how repair, accountability, or compassionate action are practiced in your relationships or community? Now, maybe you have just a short answer you'd like to share as a way of participating in the conversation tonight. You can do that. We're always growing, so you're not held to anything you say here. One of the things that I have noticed when awe arises is how it forms an interior silence. It just moves me to a place of no words. So all I can do is take in the experience. I can't find anything else to say. It moves me into a very contemplative space without just simply being introvertedly silent. Another thing that I've noticed is that the more that I've practiced it, the more that I tend to have an awareness of it throughout the day. It's like, oh, look, that surprises me. Oh, look, that's wonderful. Where have you noticed wonder arising in your body or daily life, and what helps to stay present to it rather than move past it? And Bo is responding, I find that I need to just stop and be attentive to it. Yeah. Well, friends, I want to express my gratitude as always, whether you were here for the live session or you're watching the recording later, which is on the Mighty Network and on YouTube. I thank you so much for being part of this community. I hope that the word gets out more and more and people will tune in. But until then, may you be safe, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be peaceful, and may you live with ease. Blessings to all. Until next time, good night.